Good evening. I would like to call to order the Keizer City Council in regular session. It is Monday, February 7th, 2022, and ask our city recorder to please call roll.
Councilor Herrera.
Here.
Councilor Reed.
Here.
Councilor Kohler.
Here.
Mayor Clark.
Here.
Council President Smith.
Here.
Councilor Starr.
Here.
Councilor Duran.
Here.
And Youth Councilor Coleman.
Here. Thank you. If you are able, I invite you to please rise and all join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We've got one special order of business on the agenda, and then we have another one that we're going to be walking on here in a second. But I want to begin with the proclamation for Black History Month. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas Black History Month celebrates rich cultural heritage, triumphs, and adversities that are an integral part of our country's history. And whereas the 2022 theme, Black Health and Wellness, pays very timely homage to medical scholars and healthcare providers. And whereas 50 years after the first celebrations, then President Gerald R. Ford officially recognized Black History Month as the country's 1976 bicentennial. President Ford called on Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. And whereas the current population of Black and African Americans makes up 46.9 million, the U.S. Census Bureau reports, a number which represents individual human lives, each of whom matters. And whereas 89.4% of African Americans aged 25 or older had a high school diploma or higher in 2020, an ongoing improvement in broad educational achievement that has yet to reach the full potential of educational opportunity that is meant for all students. And whereas Dr. Carter G. Woodson, a founder of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History organization, Dr. Carter G. Woodson first had the idea of this month-long celebration. Born in 1875 to newly freed Virginia slaves, he later earned a PhD in history from Harvard University. He worried that Black children were not being taught about their ancestors' achievements in American schools in the early 1900s. And whereas celebrating the achievements of our Black and African American scholars, leaders in every sector, business entrepreneurs, and inventors who have gone before us inspire and instruct us to more fully understand and appreciate one another, building stronger and more equitable relationships and community. Therefore, I, Kathy Clark, Mayor of the City of Keizer, here with the Keizer City Council assembled in regular session, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2022 as Black History Month, and urge all the people of Keizer to seek to learn the broader history of Black and African American people in our community and nation, celebrate achievements, and work together to write the history yet to come. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Keizer to be affixed this day, the 7th day of February 2022. So I'm signing this. This will be on display, and there's going to be all sorts of, I know our Human Resource Department and many of our leaders within the city do a great job sharing information, but I also have been enjoying so many of the posts on our Facebook and other media that have been so inspirational. And I hope everybody takes that time to dive into the pages instead of scrolling by really fast, because there's so much richness that we can all learn. At this time, the second special order of business is not on the agenda, but it is an opportunity to recognize 3 exceptional youth leaders in our community. At the Kaiser First Citizen Banquet, 3 finalists were presented for the Future First Citizen Award. They are all here tonight, including the awardee, Logan Reddy. And I would like to have Councilor Herrera talk about these 3 amazing young people who he invited to be here with us tonight, along with our youth counselor, who was one of the finalists. Councilor Herrera.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm really excited to present our by the way, the award is the name of it is the Dennis Coholt Future First Citizen Award. And it's the inaugural year, which is pretty exciting for all of us, actually, and because of Dennis's legendary work and service here in Keizer. The two gentlemen as my guests that are with us, along with our student counselor, are really deserving of these awards. I mean, they're outstanding young men, honors, sports, athletes, community service. I mean, reading some of this, I'm not going to go into it, but some of the community services the guys do, they should be recognized, and they are incredible. Our good counselor here, Miranda, if there's a cleanup day, she'll show up, I promise you. But anyway, or blood drive, whatever it is, she shows up. And part of, like we say at Kaiser, they show up, and I'd like for them to come up and at least, is that okay, Madam Mayor?
Yes, please, I would
Just tell
invite
us about their
both of you
future
gentlemen to come
plans.
up and introduce themselves.
Thank you.
And then have Ms. Coleman also join them, if you would. I would like to give a hand to these three finalists for the Dennis Coholt Future First Citizen. So if, Mr. Reddy, if you would start.
So I'm going to be going to Pacific Lutheran University in Tacoma. Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Does that work now?
Yes. Say again.
All right. I'm going to be going to Pacific Lutheran University in Tacoma, Washington, and I'm going to be playing baseball and football and studying business.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Ms. Coleman?
Thank you. I have not yet committed to a university yet, but I'm planning to go to a four-year university and study business as well.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Quinn Bach, and I plan to go to Oregon State and study mechanical engineering.
Fantastic. So you were selected from an incredible group of students who are volunteers. You excel academically, you get involved in the community. Can you tell us one thing that you put on your application that you want people to know about how you've been involved in the community during your high school career? I know, just one.
Yeah, one.
Otherwise, we'll be here all night because I know your accomplishments are extraordinary. Mr. Reddy.
So every year I go and I help out and sort food for needy families, and then at the same time I wrap presents for them and then go out and deliver those food and presents to those needy families.
Thank you.
Right.
So, like Counselor Herrera said, I've recently taken an interest in hosting blood drives, and I'll probably talk about it later tonight when we go around because I have another one coming up. But I've really been enjoying that new aspect of community service that I've found is hosting blood drives, recruiting people to come give blood, and ultimately save lives.
Excellent. Ms. Bach.
I would probably say volunteering with youth sports and just helping them, coaching them, hang out with them, and just being around them.
All right, well, thank you so much. So thank you all for coming tonight, and Ms. Coleman, we'll keep you the rest of the evening for sure. But again, thank you for coming, and congratulations to all three of you. You are all scholarship awardees, as I understand. All got $1,000 scholarships, and it's just a little way of our community saying we believe in you. We're excited for your future, and go forth and do great things. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Awesome.
At this time, we're going to go to committee reports, and we'll start off with item 5A, which is volunteer coordinating committee appointment. Councilor Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to take this opportunity to announce my appointment to the Volunteer Coordinating Committee, and I am appointing Soraya Cross.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And all of her contact information has been given to Ms. Davis.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Item 5B is the Kaiser Heritage Foundation Board appointment. Currently, I serve on that board of directors. My workload right now is changing with 2 appointments. I only applied for 1, but they put me on 2 policy committees for the League of Oregon Cities. And Councilor Reed, who already serves on that board, has graciously agreed to be the city liaison to that board of directors. So making it official tonight that Councilor Reed will represent the city on the Kaiser Heritage Foundation Board of Directors. And thank you so much for the work you do there.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And let's see, we've got a Planning Commission report from Jeremy Grenz. Well, come on up.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, councilors. Jeremy Grenz with the Planning Commission. So pretty slow lately. We've been committing, 3 meetings now to learning everything about House Bill 2001 and Senate Bill 458. Hopefully soon we'll be getting something in front of you guys to look at. And in the middle of all that, we managed to handle the city attorney's audible on the Parks Master Plan update in record time, I believe. Other than that, it's just business as usual. Any questions?
Business as usual, House Bill 2001. I don't think anybody's used those 2 in the same sentence.
Well, we get to talk about ADUs still, so
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Well, since I've got one across the fence from my backyard, I do find them exciting, making them nice, and they're just providing tremendous housing opportunities. But thank you for the hard work, because I know it's extraordinarily detailed work. Councilor Duran, did you have anything to add on Planning Commission?
I did not.
All right, thank you very much. And the Planning Commission is still working on House Bill 2001. Is that pretty much going to occupy the next 3 meetings, or is there some other? Yeah. Okay.
At least the next 2, I'm sure.
Okay. Because you're up against a deadline, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, thank you for your good work on there. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Next up, actually, is public testimony. Anybody else here for committee reports? Representing any of the committees? Okay. Then we will go now to public comments. This time is provided for citizens to address the council on any matters other than those on the agenda scheduled for public hearing. We have 3 public hearings scheduled this evening. The first being Cherry's Nagani liquor license application. The second continuing the public hearing for the Kaiser Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And the third, a resolution exempting the brand specification purchase of goods from competitive bidding and purchasing Shaw contract Think Tile Colors Achieve that one. Oh, it's for carpet. Okay, if you're here for one of those, stay tuned. Other than that, the floor is open, but I will invite Robert Becker from the Kaiser Cultural Center to come on down. It's good to see you, sir.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm Robert Becker. I'm the current president of the Kaiser Heritage Foundation at the Kaiser Cultural Center. I'm just going to give a kind of a quick report on what's happening at the center. We do have a lot of things going on. But the first thing I'd like to thank Mayor Clark for all her support for these years. And I know that even though you're kind of stepping away, you still are going to be there when we need you. And I do appreciate that. And I also appreciate Councilor Reed for continuing to support us and serving on our board. We all work together to make sure the Cultural Center is the cultural heart of the Kaiser community, and I couldn't do it without the support of them and really the entire council. I also want to say a special thank you to Lieutenant Copeland of the Kaiser Police Department. We recently had some issues with some campers in our back gazebo, and he was really instrumental in working with us and trying to get that situation resolved. So I really wanted to do a shout out to him. I really appreciate it. He was very friendly when I talked to him, and it was really nice to kind of get that taken care of. And I haven't seen any problems since then, so that's really great for that. So what's happening at the Kaiser Cultural Center? Currently, we are working with Ashley Gruber at McNary High School and some of our digital students, and they are really trying to help us with our social media presence because it's starting to get away from me, and I really need these kids to kind of step in and help me out and make sure that all of the events that are happening are on whatever social media children and kids are doing these days. So, because I am completely losing track of that. The Kaiser Heritage Museum has recently been awarded a Kaiser Museum Heritage Grant, which we've used to update our audio equipment for future oral history projects. We were also awarded a Marion Cultural Development Grant, which we are going to use to update some of our display cases. So we're very excited to get those up and running. We've also, a prior grant from the Oregon Heritage Grant, we are continuing to work on our interactive touchscreen display, and we've recently updated a whole new set of content in there that you can go through, oral histories, videos, pictures, documents, and we're continuing to add to that. But that's been updated, so please stop by. We're open to see that. The Keizer Art Association is continuing with classes, including a recent woodworking class. The Keizer Homegrown Theater is kicking off its 4th year at the Cultural Center this Friday night with a play called Constellations. And the Keizer Community Library is just a resource for the whole Keizer community. Stop in and see what they have, get your free library card. It's just wonderful people that run it, wonderful volunteers, and we're really great to have this library in our city. Finally, like a lot of nonprofits, we continue to need volunteers. We have not been able to open the doors as much as we like. So if anyone is interested in volunteering at any of our organizations, please visit KaiserHeritageFoundation.org. Our email is there where you can reach out to us and you can go ahead and contact information. I know that any of the organizations would love more volunteers. And the more volunteers we get, the more we can keep those doors open. And again, that is the KaiserHeritageFoundation.org. And our email, if you want to write this down, is info@KaiserCulturalCenter.org. And that is my report for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There is a lot going on next door in that beautiful old schoolhouse, and Robert is totally underselling the museum. If you haven't been to the museum in the last year, you haven't been to the museum. It's been amazing, just renaissance of that entire facility and the displays. It's fantastic work, and you have done an amazing job with helping get grants and reimagine the museum.
Yes, thank you. And we're just beginning, so we're going to continue forward.
Fantastic. Any questions from counselors on the Cultural Center? And so there's a play this weekend. The library's open. There's art classes going on.
Theater
And
productions.
the museum's open for people.
Yep.
It's fantastic. Counselor Reed?
I just want to interject, the Keizer Art Association also just opened their student art show with their open house was last weekend on Saturday. So that is really exciting to see as well. That will be coming here in this City Hall after it's done in the Art Association gallery. So that's exciting to see too.
I love the partnership with the Art Association. After they have their show and it's up for a month, then selections come over here to a wall dedicated for the Art Association right here in City Hall. So we get the double benefit of incredibly beautiful artwork pieces in our community. Councilor Kohler?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Robert, I had the opportunity to visit with a couple of your volunteers the other day. Found them very pleasant, so keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't have anybody else signed up for public testimony this evening. The floor is open if anybody would like to address the council on city matters. Okay, nobody's running up here with something to share, but I will acknowledge for the record, we have two public comments. One is from Caridad Lee Brown, resident of Keizer, on the Community Diversity Engagement Committee. And I did respond to Ms. Brown's email regarding the selection process to bring her up to date on some of the, on how it was done for the committee. And of course, I want to encourage everybody, just because you're not on a committee, and this applies to all committees and commissions, every single meeting is a public meeting. And you are invited warmly to come participate. Please come and observe, give comment, learn about the issues, share what you have to share, because being on a committee doesn't mean that they know everything. And the more people who are giving input on this committee and all of our committees, the better off we are and the stronger we are as a community. The other email is from Ms. Elizabeth Swan. It says residents not listed. Last I knew, she was a resident of Keizer, and it was on community safety. So I wanted to acknowledge both of those for the record. Okay, so that will conclude then public comment. This will now take us into public hearings. I'd like to open a public hearing for the Cherries Nagani liquor license application. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You have the staff report in your packet, but for the benefit of the public, this is an application for a liquor license for an establishment. I think to clarify up front, people might believe that the council actually gets to decide whether or not a liquor license is given to a restaurant or a facility that's applied for one, and that's not really the case. The council has the opportunity to comment. And typically what we do is check the establishment with the police department, with our planning department, and in this case, neither department had any issues. There's not been any problems, any reason for the city staff to recommend anything other than approval. In addition, we hold these public hearings just so that people would have the opportunity to come, and if there's something that we missed in our review, they could pass along their thoughts, which we would then pass along to the Oregon Liquor Control Commission before a decision is ultimately reached by that agency.
Thank you very much. Were there any questions on the staff report or the recommendation in the packet? Council President Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I jumped ahead. My bad. I got out of rhythm. I don't have anybody signed up to testify. Is there anybody here who would like to speak to this issue? Okay, there is none. Anything else before I close the public hearing? Public hearing is now closed. Council President Smith.
You sure?
I'm sure now. I got out of my rhythm.
I move that the Kaiser City Council recommend approval of the application for Cherry's Nagani Keizer under the guidelines as established by ORS 471.178 and the ordinances of the City of Kaiser. This recommendation shall then be forwarded to the Oregon Liquor Control Commission for final approval.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the Kaiser City Council recommend approval of the application for Cherry's Nagani Keizer under the guidelines as established by ORS 471.178 and the ordinances of the City of Kaiser, and forward this approval recommendation to the Oregon Liquor Control Commission. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed signify by saying no. Hearing no objection, motion passes unanimously. Councilor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have to say that this is my daughter's favorite sushi place, so it's good.
We have some great sushi places here in Kaiser, I gotta tell you, but yes, this has been a longtime favorite of ours too, both prior owner and this one. Thank you. 7B. I'm gonna open or is it reopen or continue?
Continue.
Thank you. Continue the public hearing for the Kaiser Parks and Recreation Master Plan is continued from December 20, 2021. And we're going to continue to take public testimony. I do have one person signed up, and that's Rhonda Rich from the West Kaiser Neighborhood Association.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council, and City staff. My name is Rhonda Rich. I'm Vice President of the West Kaiser Neighborhood Association. I'm here tonight because Carol Dorflu, who's our president, was not able to make it. We had elections in January, and that's where our status now. I'm accompanied by our Secretary, Carolyn Holman, though. And we're testifying here in favor of the new master plan, particularly Palmacia Park, we'd like to address. The West Kaiser Neighborhood Association has been actively involved with our parks since 2005. That's 17 years. Time flies. We remain committed to care for our parks and ask for amenities that neighbors would like to see, such as play structures and a tennis court at Willamette Manor Park, and a play structure and clearing out brush to view and access the river at Wallace House Park. A lot has been done over the years, and we appreciate the time and effort from the Parks Board members, Bill Lawyer and Robert Johnson. We participated in the master plan of 2008. Some of you were around then. That was really a fun time and involved a lot of citizens. We had hands-on, we had maps, could move picnic tables and playgrounds and things around on the map. Is a large group and interactive. But due to the pandemic, the revised plan of 2021 did not create the enthusiasm, I think, and excitement that it should have had. The excitement that springs out of working together for a common goal. creating wonderful outdoor spaces for recreating and enjoying. Thus, Palmacia Park was almost lost in the initial master plan of 2021. It was suggested to remove the park sign and take it out of the park's inventory, since it really didn't seem to have a purpose. So in November, the West Kaiser Neighborhood Association testified at the Parks Board public hearing requesting a new vision for Palmacia Park, a park that any citizen can go to enjoy viewing nature and, of course, the beautiful Willamette River. The Parks Board decided, along with park staff, to reword the plan for the park, which you have in front of you. Some recommendations are clear vegetation for river viewing, add a viewing platform and seating, and consider amenities such as dog waste station and trash receptacle. So we're excited to partner with the city on projects to improve the natural experience that this riverfront park has to offer. We'll continue to be in conversations starting tomorrow night with the Parks Board meeting regarding moving forward with making this park the best it can be. If you were around 15, 20 years ago, you know that Sunset and Wallace House Park and Kaiser Rapids Park, the other riverfront parks in West Kaiser, were overgrown and inaccessible to the public. We hope that in the next several years we can look back and say, remember what Palmacia Park looked like? But now, what a beautiful and enjoyable place to sit and watch out over the Willamette River and its wildlife. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And yes, that's my neighborhood as well. So I really appreciate the work to see what we can do with the little parks that could.
Yeah.
Any questions for Ms. Rich? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And please wish Ms. Dorfler well for us. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on the Parks Master Plan? And I remind people that this is a guiding document. Amendments do happen. Ideas come up, and it is adaptable, but this is that visioning document that will help us in planning ahead for applying for grants, applying for funding, and planning for operations in this beautiful 19-park system. All right. Mr. Johnson, is there anything else we need to do on this prior to closing the public hearing?
Not prior to the close, no.
All right. Councilors, you good to go for closing public hearing? Public hearing is now closed. All right. So I believe at this point we go to the motion. That's the one. Okay, Council President Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the Kaiser City Council direct staff to prepare an appropriate ordinance.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the Kaiser City Council direct staff to prepare the appropriate ordinance, the Parks Master Plan. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, signify by saying no. Hearing no objection, motion passes unanimously. And a huge thank you to everyone involved in creating this visionary document. That takes us now to item 7C, resolution. Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing. Resolution exemption from the brand name specifications, purchase of goods from competitive bidding and purchasing. Shaw Contract Think Tile Colors Achieve 86,760 brand name carpet tile for Civic Center lobby. Who wrote that?
Could you repeat that?
No. Mr. Hare.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Given that particular title, I think it's appropriate that the city attorney is going to handle this issue.
Thank you, Wes, Madam Mayor, and council. This matter is before council under bidding rules for exempting the brand name. We did something similar to this when the halls were carpeted just a few years ago. There was, we weren't really sure there was funding available to do the lobby at the time, and the lobby wasn't as bad as the halls. So now we're looking at finishing the project, and of course, we'd kind of like the carpet to match. So that's a specific brand. The brand name exemption process, which is what we're doing here for public hearing, is to exempt the brand. However, we still have a competitive bidding for the actual purchase and installation. So that will be bid. So the recommendation is to hold a public hearing, take any comments or questions. If you have no questions, close the public hearing and adopt the resolution exempting the brand name specifications. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any questions on the staff report? All right. I do not have anyone signed up this evening to testify. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on this issue? Seeing none, is there any other information that councilors need prior to closing the public hearing? Public hearing is now closed. Council President Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2022, exemption of the brand name specifications, purchase of goods from competitive bidding, and purchase Shaw contract think tile colors achieve 86760 brand name carpet tile for the Civic Center lobby.
Second?
Resolution R 2022 has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. That concludes our public hearings for this evening and takes us to administrative action. Item 8A, an ordinance adopting procedures for reviewing alleged interference with administration as set forth in City Charter Sections 8.1 parens H, repeal of ordinance number 2013-682.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This again is a matter for the city attorney.
Thank you, Wes, Madam Mayor, and Council. One of the projects the legal department has gotten behind on finally came up. We passed a new charter over a year ago now, and one of the things that we were trying to get changed is as just a housekeeping measure. There's no substantive change here. The previous charter had a provision for interference by councilors with either the hiring, firing, or purchase of goods and materials. The new charter has a similar, not identical provision, which is based on the league model. So the ordinance that we had for that process for interference by councilors needed to be changed. So we've done that. We've made the number change from old section 21F to new section 8.1H, and also the wording changes that were in the charter that changed from the previous section. So that ordinance is before you. I think we also put a copy of the old ordinance in there too, if you wanted to look at that. So the recommendation is to look this over. If you have any questions, let me know. And if not, pass the motion to adopt that ordinance.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any questions on this, this ordinance? Okay, Council President Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the Keizer City Council adopt a bill for an ordinance adopting procedures for reviewing alleged interference with administration as set forth in the city charter, section 8.1H, repeal of ordinance number 2013-682.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council adopt a bill for an ordinance 2022 adopting procedures for reviewing alleged interference with administration as set forth in city charter section 8.1H, repeal of ordinance number 2013-682. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. You can check that one off your list, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
All right, item 8B, a resolution authorizing the finance director to sign contract for water assistance provisions with Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We get a break from the city attorney and we'll hear from our finance director.
Mr. Wood.
I'm not sure if I'm more exciting than the city attorney. I mean, well, thank you, Madam Mayor, City Council. The Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program has been established by the federal government through a combination of different acts. Through this act, Oregon is going to receive $13.8 million to provide low-income housing water assistance to individual households that are in need. At this point, it's for households that are at or below 60% of the state median income level. This program is being run through the community action agencies. So in order for the city of Keizer to be eligible to participate in this program, we have to enter into an agreement with the Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency. There is no fiscal impact to this agreement as it only allows us to refer residents to their program. So with that, staff does recommend that the council adopt the attached resolution authorizing me to sign the agreement. With that, if there's any questions.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions of Mr. Wood about the program or the contract? Councilor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My understanding, Mr. Wood, is that what this does is this will help some of those families pay the bills, so it will help us and we don't have as much in collections. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
this is designed to help people reconnect their service, prevent disconnection, pay their current bill and their past due amounts. And this covers water, sewer, and also stormwater. So this is a very, very big program, and I hope a lot of residents take advantage of this. We will be communicating, assuming we get the approval to sign this agreement. We'll be communicating this through our website, through our social media accounts. Also, all of our utility billing, customer service folks will be made aware of this program as well.
So the parks and police fee is not covered on this, it would still be due from the homeowner.
That is correct. And again, as our past practice, if residents do not pay those amounts, we do not disconnect their water service. So those will just float until future times that they do have the means available.
Yeah, that was something very important when we passed the fees, that the essential services, and especially when you have assistance like this, to be able to help a household keep their services going. And it's been very rare that we've had to take that measure.
That is correct.
Thank you very much. Any other questions on this resolution? Council President Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2022, authorizing the Finance Director to sign contract for water assistance provisions with Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2022, authorizing Finance Director to sign contract for water assistance provisions with Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency. Further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed signify by saying no. Hearing no objection, motion passes unanimously. Item 8C is 2021-2022 City Council Goals and Work Plan Update. And Mr. Hill, I'll start with you and then I'll take the pass over here.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to defer the bulk of this to you. Just one observation that I wanted to make. I think we have made some good progress on some of the goals that the council set last year. Most of that is included in the staff report, which you have before you. But you are entering sort of what I think is a critical period right now, where we're about to enter into the budget process for the coming year. There is a substantial amount of money that I don't think we had anticipated in previous years. And I think it's going to be a really critical time of trying to figure out how this money fits into the priorities that you've had in the past and what new priorities you might need to establish as a part of your budgeting process this year. So this perhaps is a unique year for the City Council, and while I probably won't have much of a part in it, I have been privileged to work with staff and see the accomplishments that have taken place from the last year, and I certainly wish you well in the projects going forward. With that, I'd be happy to answer questions, but again, I think most of the information is available there.
Thank you very much. Any questions on this is just a midterm update on the council goals. And something that the City Council did for this biennium, which had not been done before, was to establish a separate work plan. And this is council conceived, council driven. So what I have done is written an update for the record on our work plan, how we have done over this last year. There were things that happened during the year, and yet the City Council, similar to the city staff, really stayed on target and has been working through so many of the things that we set forth for the council to achieve. Looking through the list, I just wanted to highlight a few things. There were some things that we did that were not on the plan, such as supporting the Latino Action Committee Scholarship Program, having a work session on video and media options for community outreach and engagement. And something I've been talking about, but that we'll have to do separately, will be if we are going to work together as a community for a Kaiser 40th anniversary celebration, which on November of this year, we'll celebrate the 40th year since the vote was passed to incorporate our city. Some of the future work plans will continue to evolve, and we'll take the work that we have done thus far and continue to move forward. We will continue to improve city services, operations, emergency management, preparedness, and our city asset utilization for the benefit of all the people of Keizer. I want to commend, thank, and celebrate the work of the council and staff who have worked tirelessly to conduct the business of the city through many unforeseen circumstances over the last year or two, and ensure that the work has been done to benefit all the people of Keizer, both short-term and long-term. Just to go over a few of the things that we had in our work plan. One was the Parks Master Plan and the Parks projects, and we just completed adoption of the master plan. Community outreach to the comment made earlier about community engagement. We did use a lot of our media, so we've had to make a lot of changes in how we do outreach, and hopefully as we move into future engagement, we'll be able to use both the in-person and the online tools to broaden the opportunity for community engagement. Our project for the community diversity engagement, we had the work group led by councilors Reed, Smith, and Herrera, and that committee has been established, had their first meeting, and that work is now moving forward. In addition, there were some couple of things we wanted to see get done, and tonight we met our first Dennis Coholt Future First Citizen, and we also, too many people don't know, we already have a Youth Volunteer of the Quarter program. So if you know a young person who's been involved in the community and making a difference, please go to our website, nominate them for Youth of the Quarter. We want to celebrate what our youth are doing in our community. The project to update the council rules and procedures, done. Thank you to Councilors Kohler, Smith, and Reed, who did a magnificent job with our city attorney and Ms. Harms to get that done. And again, we will be making more minor adjustments because this is a living document. Volunteer committee training, Councilor Kohler's lead here, working with the city recorder's office, and that is already underway, and I'm looking forward to that process being completed by the end, or at least substantially done by the end of the year. Recruit and hire a permanent city manager. So we will be doing the interviews next week. Housing disparity and barriers to home ownership in Keizer. We have not been able to begin that work group, and it looks like the earliest we'll be able to begin that. This will be both myself, Councilor Smith, and Duran, and probably begin this work in April. A lot of this now is going to hinge on the work of the Planning Commission and our Planning Department on House Bill 2001. There's a lot of pieces that are going to overlap there. Also, some of the rulemaking underway right now with the Department of Land Conservation and Development. Please be paying attention to that. That would make development code restrictions that would make it even more difficult for us to provide adequate housing options in Keizer. So with that, the rest of the report is in the packet. Again, I want to thank you all for taking the opportunity to put together a work plan and try something new. And I am very proud of the work that we as a team have been able to accomplish on behalf of and with the people of Keizer. Are there any questions on the goals or work plan update? Okay, let's go on then to item D, which is the mayor's request for electronic meeting participation. I'll go to, is that back to Mr. Johnson, then probably back to me? Or do you want me to just?
Yeah, well, I can summarize it for you. The mayor is going to be out of town, and Council President Smith is also going to be unavailable. So Mayor Clark has requested to participate in the council meeting via electronic means. So under our current rules, when one of the issues we'll be looking at soon with the tweak to the council procedures, that requires a vote of the council to allow remote participation. We decided to kind of do it ahead of time. I know sometimes we do that at the beginning of the meeting that is there, and it just since we knew ahead of time, it felt like it made sense to do ahead of time, so we put it on the agenda. So that's the matter for you folks to consider.
Thank you. And this is something that, because this is an event that is not locked in stone, I might be here, I might be not, but we thought if we just got this out of the way, there's one less thing to deal with the third week of February. I could be here and surprise you, and I could be gone. But thank you for your consideration of this. And again, I hope that as we work through our council rules and procedures, that we can streamline the process to allow for flexibility for appearing electronically when necessary. Thank you very much. Any questions? Council President Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the Keizer City Council grant Mayor Clark's request to appear electronically at the February 22nd, 2022 meeting.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the City Council grant my request to appear electronically. I'm going to add, if necessary, on February 22nd, 2022. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you for your flexibility. Council President Smith, would you please read the items on tonight's consent calendar? We got a long one.
It's like, yep, let me try this. Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. There are several items. Item number A, resolution authorizing the city manager to award and enter into an agreement with Abaquah Landscape Maintenance LLC for open play area irrigation and seeding project at the Kaiser Rapids Park project. Item B, resolution authorizing the city manager to award and enter into an agreement with trench line excavation for water line replacement project 2022. Item C, resolution authorizing the city manager to award and enter into an agreement with Jelco Construction Company for upgrades to ADA curb ramps. Item D, resolution ratifying the Public Works Director's application for the 2021-23 capital funding for the Wheatland Road north from River Road to Jays Drive project. Item E is approval of the January 10th, 2022 work session minutes, and item F is approval of January 18th, 2022 regular session minutes.
Thank you very much. Are there any polls for discussion? Seeing no polls, Council President Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the Keizer City Council adopt or approve the consent calendar items A through F.
Second?
The consent calendar has been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously. All right, this takes us to other business. This time is provided to allow the mayor, city council members, or staff an opportunity to bring new or old matters before the council that are not on tonight's agenda. Are there any other business items that anyone would like to bring forward at this time?
I have nothing, Madam Mayor.
Mr. Wood.
Madam Mayor, City Council, I'd like to bring something up for consideration at the next City Council meeting. We have a well up near Bear Park. The well has not been behaving itself. Instead of giving us water, it's been giving us sand. When the well was originally drilled in 2003, we were able to get about 700 gallons per minute out of it. At this point, due to the sand issue, we're down to about 200 gallons. This has presented a problem in filling the reservoir that's located in Bear Park. So I hate to do this, but I kind of want to ask if we can add an agenda item to appropriate some of the ARPA funds to basically drill a new well at the Bear Park area. Unfortunately, it's going to cost about $375,000 to $400,000 to do that project. However, time is kind of the essence, and we'd like to move forward with that sooner rather than later. So rather than wait till the long-range planning meeting, I'd like to bring it back at the next council meeting if that would meet your approval.
All right, thank you very much. Council, good with Mr. Wood and Mr. Lawyer bringing us this item for our consideration at our next council meeting, which I believe is February 22nd. All right, we concur. Please do. Sand doesn't work. Okay, any other business?
But not for anything good.
Well, not for that, no. It's not going to go through the pipes very well. Any other items for other business tonight? Okay, staff updates.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a note, yesterday marked my completion of my 7th month with the city of Keizer. And as I recall, it was Councilor Duran who asked me a question when I first started here about how I would hold up, whether I would last, whether I'd be willing to stay. And I believe I answered that yes, but that I would start to get crabby after about 7 months. And so I just thought I'd give you a heads up on that. The second issue, point of information, my contract with the city does require me to get permission from the council to be absent for more than, I think it's 1 day. And my daughter has decided to celebrate her birthday out of state on February the week of February the 24th. And so I would be gone for 4 or 5 days during that period of time. I wasn't given any choice in that decision, I should add, but if the council doesn't object, I will be gone from the 24th through the 2nd.
Any objection from council? No objection notice. Have a wonderful time and please wish your daughter happy birthday.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Davis?
Nothing, thank you.
How's the community center doing? I hate to put you on the spot, but I am.
The community center is gearing back up. We have some training sessions. We've had ODOT and school district, and tomorrow we have Oregon Water Utilities. So the big events haven't, other than the chamber banquet, but other than that, we're plugging along, starting. The calendar, actually, if you ask for a Saturday between April and November, there's not one Saturday available. So.
Wow. Okay, we're back. We're coming back.
That gives you a little update.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for letting me put you on the spot there. Mr. Wood?
Nothing additional from me, thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Witham?
It's been talked about a few times tonight, our House Bill 2001 work and Senate Bill 458, just a kind of a quick update. As Commissioner Grins spoke to last couple planning commissions, we've had a lot of information before planning commission to kind of get their bearings and also to put some very rough draft text in front of them on what our development code will be looking like in the near future. We have a planning commission meeting this week, and we're going to kind of dive into the Senate Bill 458 provisions, which is a provision to allow for the division of middle housing developments, regardless of what our standards might be. So that's kind of interesting. But the idea behind it is that it may give an opportunity for more affordable ownership options. So I think, it could be a good tool in consideration with the council's work program and looking at housing affordability and options. We are trying to push the gas pedal down as fast as we possibly can, but most likely we'll be coming to council in May for public hearings. I think that's about the earliest we're going to be able to get to that public hearing stage, assuming we can get through the rest of the work with Planning Commission and have our hearings in April for Planning Commission. So just kind of wanted to give you all a heads up on that and a little bit of an update, and be excited for it coming. It's good stuff. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lawyer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple things. As you can tell from the consent calendar tonight, we've got a few projects kicking off here real quick. Water project, street project, and parks projects. Also wanted to let the council know that the water division staff were tied up, even still right now, working on a broken water main on Wheatland 18th. Got into it and discovered that a valve had broken up against what's called the tapping sleeve. So we had to shut the whole main down from Wiesner from about Northside Drive down to 18th. I'm not sure how much of 18th was off. They've been off without water the better part of today. My manager just called me and let me know the water's coming back on here momentarily, flushing the line. So they've had a long day, but they're getting the job done, getting the water back on.
All right, thank you for that update on that project. Appreciate it. And I had another question, but I'll have to circle back and catch it. Chief? No?
There we
Yes.
go. 3 years ago, we received our initial accreditation of the Oregon Accreditation Alliance, talking about the police department. After a lot of hard work over recent months on the part of Lieutenant Trevor Winning, we've just received our received notice that we're receiving our second accreditation. I'm a member of OACP Legislative Committee, and we work with the legislature to develop a House bill last year that required accreditation for larger agencies, and we are in that mix. I'm happy to report that we've been accredited long before it was required of us, and it's an important thing, and it's a good milestone. Thank you.
Congratulations and well done. Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
Nothing tonight. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
I remembered my question for you, Mr. Lawyer. The Verta project.
Yes.
Do we have a start date?
No.
Okay, thank you. Is it this construction season or next?
It's, let's see, 25, I believe.
Oh, Verta's
For
going to
construction.
25?
Yeah.
Okay.
Design now, that's taking longer than I'd hoped, then acquisition, then construction.
Gotcha, okay.
Acquisition will probably take a year.
I had in my head that we were getting a lot closer to construction than we are.
I haven't even seen preliminary plans yet.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Hopefully we'll get that before, shorter time frame than the one for the southbound lane on I-5.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
Paid some money already, so we haven't paid any money for the southbound I-5 lane yet.
Yeah, probably need this more. All right, thank you very much. And that was a dig, and yeah, so. All right, council member reports. Councilor Duran, can I start with you tonight? Okay.
So we've, I was, at the Planning Commission there, you heard everybody talk about the House Bill 2001. It's a lot of information that we've been working with. And it kind of falls in, I think Shane kind of mentioned this, that with what we're looking at doing for, trying to come up with alternatives for housing. So this is a good thing. But I think the city of Keizer has a lot of room for this to work, to bring in more housing. So I want, everybody to get involved with this and look at this, because we've been doing it here, at the Planning Commission, and eventually it'll come out a little bit more. But if people would understand what's going on and take a look at this and maybe even come to the Planning Commission meetings and get involved, it could help everybody. So I just wanted to kind of mention that with changing the house, the way houses can be built in Keizer and how many units can be on a piece of property and things like that, that allows more people for home ownership. And I really want that to be the goal of what's going to happen here, rather than just a whole bunch of rentals. So I'd like people to get involved and figure out how we can get this to the community and get them excited about, maybe having a smaller piece of the American dream, but still having home ownership. So I think it would be good that everybody gets involved, and I'd like to make sure that we can get that out there to people.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Councilor Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to recognize the first meeting of the Community Diversity Engagement Group and how impressed and proud I am of those members who were participating in that first meeting, and extend an invitation for our community to get involved and to be part of the conversations, and recognizing, just letting the community know that this committee recognizes that we need to get outside of these walls. So ask for the community's participation and engagement as we move through that process and that work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Council President Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have anything tonight.
All right, thank you. Councilor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. How are we doing today?
We're doing.
Oh, excellent. Just food for thought. Joy. Do you seek for joy? If you have joy, what is the difference between joy and happiness? And then what do we do as when things are in our way, are they stepping stones or stumbling blocks? And that we need to be sure we have a gratitude attitude. So the Civic Center cleanup of the Clyde Creek Watershed Council is on March 12th. We encourage people to come and enjoy joining with a lot of people and cleaning up the Civic Center. Soggy Day at the Park is proposed for April 23rd.
Community dinner?
We did have community dinner, and we had not as many as we'd like to have, but we did have it in person. We had a lot of people, a lot of comments that we had from people that they enjoyed being there. Baked potato bar was really good. Kaiser Greeters, the Keizer Chamber of Commerce puts on greeters every Tuesday morning at 8:30. And I was asked to remind all of the council that the city is a member of the Chamber of Commerce and that we are all invited to come to that at any time. The committee chair training, I got an opportunity to talk with Jamie, and we did the traffic safety bike ped committee for the chair training. One down and lots more to come. I appreciate that. The support from our recording department. Appreciate that. Southeast Kaiser neighborhood, we had one text that said that we're not going to have it, and so we went, and then they did have enough for a quorum. So one of our new city employees, Jenny Ammon, was there, and she is assigned to work with neighborhood associations. It was nice to have her there. She did a good job representing our city. And the Southeast Kaiser Neighborhood Association has registered for National Night Out, and the library is looking for a board member from the Southeast Kaiser Neighborhood Association. Coming up, don't have a lot till Thursday, and then Thursday is packed with the Commissioner's Breakfast, the LOC Regional Meeting in Jefferson, and the Volunteer Coordinating Committee, which I'm excited to meet Councilor Starr's new appointee, and then next week after that, city manager interviews. So plenty of things going on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Councilor Reed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This Thursday, I have the Latino Business Alliance, the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance Summit, and the West Kaiser Neighborhood Association, all on Thursday. So looking forward to all of that. There is the If I Were Mayor contest, sponsored by the LOC, the League of Oregon Cities, yes?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get the word out about that. Any youth from elementary school on up to high school is invited to participate in that, and that would be fabulous if we could have a good representation from our Kaiser students. So I'm trying to get the word out on that. We heard about what was going on in the Kaiser Cultural Center. Just wanted to mention also, in addition to Constellations that is opening this weekend, we have Steel Magnolias, which will be opening next month. So a lot going on there. And that is all I have for tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And then you, second semester started, right?
Oh, yes.
All right, fantastic. We'll be hearing from Ms. Coleman. Councilor Herrera.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Looking forward to Magnolia, Steel Magnolia.
Yes, it will be fabulous.
Yes, and the first citizen dinner was great. I wanted to shout out to Dennis, my good friend Dennis Blackman, who's been wonderful in this community, and his business been there forever. And back when he was over on Shamawa, good old days, he would sponsor our teams, and I always remember that. I was in CBEL executive Zoom meeting, along with police chief here, and I believe LAC. Oh, here's the announcement I want to make. Us our LAC scholarship. We decided to have it on outdoors again, to play it safe in case there's a turn, And so I won't be making the annual ask this year, but I will tell you on May 12th, we're inviting everybody, and we're asking anybody who wants to donate or help with our scholarship program, contact LAC or Pastor Dominguez. And we appreciate all the help we've gotten and support. Coming up tomorrow, they have the redistricting Zoom with the Salem area mass transit. I don't know if you guys, I won't be able to make that because I have another meeting, but we have, I'm getting, see this Thursday we have a West Kaiser Neighborhood Association. I'd like to go because they always have cookies. And, I was going to say something about the Black History Month. A student asked me yesterday, well, actually Saturday, yeah. He asked me why we have it on Fridays, and why is Black History Month on February? And it started off as Black History Week, but there's a reason why, and that's because the birthday of Frederick Douglass, who was an abolitionist, and he was on, I think it was on the 12th, and then of course Lincoln's on the 14th, who was also instrumental for that. So that's why that was picked. But anyway, also another shout out to the chamber for all their work they put into the First Citizen Dinner. That was pretty good. I was really surprised with the attendance. I thought that was really great, and I will be. Let's see, Small Cities in Jefferson, along with Councilor Kohler, I believe. And then on the, let's see, we're another LOC. I had about 4 or 5 LOC meetings. I went boy with that. And the COG coming up on the 16th. And then Steve Powers' birthday Zoom, or no, farewell Zoom coming up. So that should be interesting. That's all I have. Again, it was great to see our high school guys here. And I think these guys were amazing. So thank you very much.
Speaking of amazing high school, Youth Counselor Coleman.
So yes, second semester has started, which is my last high school semester ever, so that's really sad.
Oh my God.
We are going to have a blood drive March 9th from 12 to 5 p.m. Unfortunately, well, of course, thank you to St. Edward's for hosting it, but unfortunately we can't have it at the high school. So that means that community members could also donate blood at this blood drive as well. So again, it's from 12 to 5 p.m. March 9th at St. Edward's Catholic Church, and you can sign up on the Red Cross website. Councilor Kohler already talked about the Civic Center cleanup for March 12th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I have been going to this cleanup since 7th, 8th grade. So it's going to be really cool to come back and do that again. It's always such a great and positive experience and getting a lot of good work done with your peers. So it's super fun. Winter sports are in full swing. They're kind of dwindling off to end. And spring is coming. So that includes track and field, golf, baseball, softball, and lacrosse. So I'm super excited for that. I kind of want to go back to the Dennis Coholt for Future First Citizen Award. That was a super duper awesome experience. I had no idea what to expect going to the banquet. I was very scared I was going to be overdressed, like super scared. But I think I fit the black tie type of attire. I didn't really get the opportunity to talk about or have a speech or anything like that. So real quickly, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, and thank you to Matt Lawyer especially. He was the one that introduced me to the world of community service in Keizer, and I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without him and his guidance. And of course, thank you to the chamber and the city council and all those things for this opportunity. And thank you to my mom, because my mom's my #1 supporter. So yeah, that's everything that I wanted to say that I didn't get to say. So I'm glad I had a chance to say it now. So that is it. Thank you.
Well done.
That's what happens when your neighbors with Matt.
I know, he's a great recruiter, for sure, and mentor. So thank you very much, and congratulations on being a finalist and a scholarship recipient. I just have a couple things to tag on to all of the stuff that is just going on all over town. On the 24th, the Personnel Policy Committee met. That's a group of 3 who work with HR, and also to keep apprised of where we're going in terms of our personnel policy manuals and other efforts to keep body and soul together through COVID and keep the rest of HR going. Our 2-person team for that department does the work of 10, and they are to be commended, and Superman or capes or something are probably very appropriate. Let's see. Legislative Committee for the Council of Governments. We did our first call to action. It was on the Oregon Transportation Commission priorities for allocating the $400 million of the $1.2 billion infrastructure for the IIJA, that's the Infrastructure and Jobs Act funds. So we've had a great deal of conversation. They keep on coming to all of the transportation groups and so forth, asking the question, which we spend it on. We give them the same answer. There are projects that need to be done, and need to be done. So we'll keep reminding them until they get done. One of them being the Aurora Donald Interchange, get the last dollars in to make that a one and done project rather than phase it, which means it'll be in construction much longer and cost a lot more money. And more importantly, could cost lives. Not okay. So I did testify to the Oregon Transportation Commission along those lines on the 20th. There was a Zoom roundtable with Congressman Schrader, talked about infrastructure, affordable housing funding, and healthcare to see if we can expand options that both the federal as well as the state level to include mental health care when we're talking about health care, because that has been sorely understaffed, neglected, and still is a tremendous need for our healthcare system in this nation and our state. Let's see, the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance, we will be having our second annual summit this week featuring keynote speaker Dr. Johnny Lake. It is free to attend. It is Zoom from 3 to 6. Highly recommend anybody who's interested in any aspect of housing, homelessness, youth services, veterans, you name it. You make sure you get onto that summit. You need to sign up to get the Zoom link, and but there is no charge. 3 to 6 this Thursday, February 10th. The SEDCOR Board of Directors met on the 2nd to work on the strategic plan for the next 5 years for our 3-county region. This region ended up very strongly, even with the last 2 years of having to pivot for economic changes, shutdowns, opening, all the funding has gone through. And with that strategic plan to push forward into the next 5 years for looking for properties and the types of businesses to recruit for and provide workforce for in our 3-county, Marion, Polk County, Yamhill region. Women United, last Friday I was the lunch speaker for that group. This is a women's group with the United Way. This is a national organizations of women who collaborate for supporting women, children, young ladies, girls in the schools. Some tremendous programs being done there for supporting the Keizer closets, the resource closets at the schools in Salem, and so much more. The Safe Sleep is a fantastic partnership with Women United and other community action or community groups for providing safe, secure, sanitary places for women to leave homelessness and start their journey into being housed and whole. Coming up, I'll be joining you with the Region 3 meeting for the League of Oregon Cities in Jefferson. I've been invited to invite you all to a tour this Saturday morning. I know it's really late notice, but to see where they're producing these micro shelters. And really excited to see those up close and personal, how they're being produced here to provide micro shelters that are safe and secure for people in our community. Great partnerships across our community to produce and place these micro shelters. So I'll get that information out to Tracy, to you all, if you're free Saturday morning to be able to join me on that quick tour. That's pretty much it. Next week on the 16th, after we do all of the interviews for the city manager, we do have the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments annual meeting, which will be on Zoom. Hopefully next year in person. I dropped my pen. All right. Agenda input next. February 2nd, 7th, that's today. So we do not have a work session next Monday for the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. But we'll be spending a lot of time together on the 15th and 16th, so we'll make up for it when we do the city manager community forums and the interviews. Then we will meet on February 22nd, 2022, which is a Tuesday at 7 p.m. in regular session, and then we'll be getting into March. I think it's March 7th is the meeting after that, if I'm correct. And we'll meet then again in regular session. That is all I have for tonight. Is there anything else? Ms. Bush for the Kaiser Fire District. So I'd like to offer courtesy to Colleen Bush, who is on the board of directors for Kaiser Fire. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Colleen Bush, resident, City of Keizer. I'm very impromptu, but I did want to take a moment to recognize firefighter Austin Smith and give you some information about his service. You probably already know, but the memorial service will be held on Saturday, February 12th, 1 p.m., St. Paul Rodeo Grounds in St. Paul. It's open to the public, but as this will be a full firefighter honor memorial service, we're expecting a large presence of first responders with many pieces of equipment. That's a very small town. A procession is planned, and to assist with the coordination of first responders, the Oregon State Fire Marshal is asking each agency to complete, tell how many people are going to be there. But I wanted to let you know about it. I have no idea if there's any Zoom or any kind of online about that, but just take a moment and remember our firefighters and their commitment to life, safety of service and property. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for sharing that information. And we join with all of the communities, especially with the folks of St. Paul, in mourning the loss of firefighter Austin Smith. I'm going to go to you, Councilor Coleman. I'll come back to you, Councilor Kohler.
So I went to my dad's this past weekend, and he lives in Longview, Washington. So it was totally unplanned, but so I drove through Portland and all that way off I-5, and I had the privilege to watch a procession come down the opposite way and see all of them on the overhead bridges, and it was absolutely so cool and so heartwarming, but also heartbreaking at the same time. So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Kohler.
Ditto, except I was going to Battleground. But it was amazing to see the support of all the firefighters on the overpasses and on the sides. The support that they had for our fellow firefighter was very impressive and very humbling.
Indeed. So hopefully people will be able to get to or send, I believe there are ways online to be able to send your thoughts to the family and also the firefighting family for St. Paul. All right, anything else for the good of the order? Seeing none, the time is 8:23 and we are adjourned. Thank you all.